friends, myself Vivek. Welcome to our channel. Please subscribe and share my video friends. If you give a support to me, I can make more videos with more enthusiasm and more energy friends. So till now we completed 3 videos of India relief features. In first part we discussed about the geological background and the location of India and how Himalayas were formed. In the second part we have a clear idea and we discussed about all topics about the Himalayas. What are Himalayas? How many types of Himalayas are there? What is Purvanchal? And how Indian climate is influenced by Himalayas. All these we discussed in the part 2. In part 3 we discussed in the previous class, we discussed about the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Indo-Gangetic Plain and Thar Desert. Now, till now we completed 3 major relief features of India. There are total 6 major relief features of India. We completed half of the lesson and this is the 4th relief feature of India, that is Peninsular Plateau or Indian Plateau. The question arises is why Indian Plateau is also called as Peninsular Plateau? Why Indian Plateau is also called as Peninsular Plateau? Indian Plateau is also called as Peninsular Plateau because it covers 3 sides of water. It is surrounded by 3 sides of water. Arabian Sea in the west side, Bay of Bengal in the east side and the Indian Ocean in the south side. That's why the Indian Plateau is also called as Peninsular Plateau. And the Peninsular Plateau is famous for black soil. It is famous for black soil and it is composed with the crystalline rocks, hard igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks. This Peninsular Plateau is covered with all these rocks. And this Peninsular Plateau is divided into 2 parts or 2 plateaus. One is Central Highlands and one is Deccan Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is divided into 2 parts, Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Now let us discuss about the Central Highlands. What is Central Highlands? Again, the Central Highlands also divided into 2 main plateaus that are nothing but Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. Malwa Plateau is located in the west side of the Central Highlands. This is Central Highlands. West side it is located Malwa Plateau and east side located Chota Nagpur Plateau. I think in multiple choice questions or in one mark question, Chota Nagpur Plateau is famous for what? So that time the Chota Nagpur Plateau is very famous for rich in minerals. This is very rich in minerals. And this Chota Nagpur Plateau lies in between Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. And this west side is higher than east side because the total Indian Peninsular Plateau partly bends towards the east side. Partly it bends towards the east side. So the Western Ghats are higher than Eastern Ghats. You can understand. And one more important term, that is nothing but Kanyakumari. Don't confuse here Kanyakumari and Indira Point. Kanyakumari and Indira Point. These both are called southernmost tip of India. Southernmost tip of India, but Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of mainland India. Only in land Kanyakumari is the southernmost part, but in island Indira Point is the southernmost tip of India. Why the Indira Point is called as southernmost tip of India? Let us later we discuss in the islands. The major relief feature island topic we will discuss about the Indira Point. But now Kanyakumari is the southernmost tip of India, mainland of India. Okay, till now we discussed about the Central Highlands, Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. In map pointing you should locate, if you ask about Malwa Plateau, you should locate like this. Plateau. Here the Malwa Plateau is located. And coming to the Deccan Plateau, the triangular mass shape of this plateau is called as Deccan Plateau. Triangular shape plateau is called Deccan Plateau. And this Deccan Plateau is the longest plateau, biggest plateau. It is located south of the India. This is called Deccan Plateau. This is called Deccan Plateau. And let us see the side, north side, east side, west side and south side. In north of the Deccan Plateau, this is Deccan Plateau. The north side of the Deccan Plateau, Mahadev Hills, Kaimur Range and Satpura Range are located. They'll ask in the multiple choice question. The north side of Deccan Plateau, they'll give options. Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, Nilgiri Hills or Kaimur and Satpura Range. What is the answer? Satpura and Kaimur Range. The north side of Deccan Plateau, what are the ranges? What are the ranges of the north side of Deccan Plateau? Kaimur Range, Satpur Range and Mahadev Hills. West side of the Deccan Plateau are Western Ghats. East side of the Deccan Plateau are Eastern Ghats. And south side of the Deccan Plateau are Nilgiri Hills. Total, it is evergreen forest. So these are the Western and Eastern Ghats. And about the total plateau, once again, what is peninsular plateau? Peninsular Indian plateau is also called as peninsular plateau. Why? Because it is surrounded three sides of water. And peninsular plateau is famous for black soil and it is composed by the crystalline rocks, metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks and hard igneous rocks. And Kanyakumari is called as southernmost tip of mainland of India. And it is divided into two parts, Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Central Highlands again divided into two parts, Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. Malwa Plateau is located in the west side of the Central Highlands and Chota Nagpur Plateau located east side of the Central Highlands. And this Chota Nagpur Plateau lies in Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh and it is famous for rich in minerals. And coming to the Deccan Plateau, it is the triangular mass shape is known as Deccan Plateau. It is located in the south side of the India. And the north side of Deccan Plateau are Mahadev Hills, Kaimur Range and Satpura Range. The west side of the Deccan Plateau are Western Ghats, east side of Deccan Plateau are Eastern Ghats and south side of the Deccan Plateau are Nilgiri Hills. Now we will discuss about the major differences between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Till now we discussed about the Peninsular Plateau and Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are also the one of the parts of the Peninsular Plateau. So Western Ghats are continuous ranges. What is meant by continuous ranges? I already said that the Peninsular Plateau, this is Peninsular Plateau, slightly bend towards the east side. So whatever the rivers originated from here, like Godavari, Krishna, they move towards the east side because the slopey areas, the rivers always move to the slopey areas. It covers total Deccan Plateau and finally reaching the Bay of Bengal. So always the Western Ghats are continuous ranges, but the Eastern Ghats are not continuous ranges. And the Western Ghats are higher than Eastern Ghats. Why? Because it is sloped towards the eastern. So Eastern Ghats are lesser than Western Ghats. The average height of Eastern Ghats is 1600 kilometers. Average height of Western Ghats is 1600 kilometers. And average height of Eastern Ghats is 900 meters. So you can see the difference. Western Ghats average height is 1600 and Eastern Ghats average height is 900. So total 700 kilometers difference is there. And this river, this Western Ghats extends from Gudalur and join in Nilgiri Hills in Western Ghats. Whenever it joins to the Nilgiri Hills, it raises over 200 meters of height. And in Eastern Ghats, this Eastern Ghats exists or extends between Mahanandi Valley to the north of Nilagiri Hills. It extends to the Mahanandi Valley to the north of Nilagiri Hills, and this Western Ghats near Gudalur, again it joins in the Nilagiri Hills. Whenever the Eastern Ghats join in the Nilagiri Hills, they rise over the height of 2000 meters. And the highest peak in Western Ghats. The highest peak in Western Ghats is Doda Betta. You can get into one mark question or multiple choice. What is the highest peak in Western Ghats? Doda Betta, 2637 meters, 2637 meters. And highest peak in Eastern Ghats. What is the highest peak in Eastern Ghats? Chintapelli. It is located in Andhra Pradesh. Chintapelli, it is located in Andhra Pradesh. The highest peak is 1680 meters, 1680 meters. And in Western Ghats, the highest peak is Doda Betta. Eastern Ghats, the highest peak is Chintapelli. And the famous hill station in Western Ghats, nothing but Udagamandalam. Udagamandalam is famously known as Ooty. Udagamandalam is called as Ooty. The famous hill station in the Western Ghats are Ooty. And the famous regions in the Eastern Ghats, Nallamalas, Velikondas, Palakondas and Sheshachala. These are completely covered with the evergreen forest. So these are the difference between the Eastern Ghats, and this is expected 4 mark question. It is expected 4 marks question. Okay. Now next we will discuss about the islands. Before going into the topic of islands, the highest peak in Western Ghats is Doda Betta and the highest peak in Eastern Ghats is Chintapelli. The highest peak in total South India is Anaimudi. Total highest is Anaimudi of Annamalai Hills. It is 2695 meters, 2695 meters. It is the highest peak in South India, Anaimudi of Annamalai Hills. In Western Ghats, Doda Betta. In Eastern Ghats, Chintapalli. In total South India, Anaimudi. Okay.